Remember when you were younger and all those dreams that you had of traveling and having the freedom of adulthood, and then somewhere around 25 to 27 you realize that you've been trapped and that retirement age is actually increasing every year? Well, I don't want to be a slave for the rest of my life. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is BROKERAGE, but I also go by Chimsil. If you're new here, I talk about being young and becoming financially free. If you're returning, hey guys, I hope you all are doing well on your journey to reclaiming your childhood and your freedom through financial literacy. Today, as the title says, I'm gonna give you guys tips on how to retire early, not just 50 early, not 40 early, 35 early. If you take this advice and start investing in your retirement now, you will be able to retire at a very early age and enjoy your life on your own terms. I think it's important to define retirement first. Retirement, essentially, in terms of working, is having the ability or the having the ability not to work anymore if you don't want to, and still being able to take care of yourself and sustain your life. When a lot of people think retirement, they think 60 years old, 70 years old, and the only reason why it's like that is because at that age it's hard for people to continue working to sustain their life. Like I said in the intro, retirement age is increasing every year, not because people are, well, life expectancy is increasing, so I guess people are able to work more at that age, but also because people aren't able to sustain themselves at previous retirement ages, which means that they need to work more in order to sustain themselves after. And even after that, they're still struggling because they didn't know these financial principles to sustain themselves in retirement. So that's why I'm telling you guys now, so that you can start preparing now, so that you can retire whenever you want and be good for the rest of your life. Okay, so the key thing about retirement is income. The whole purpose of retirement is not having to work. You can go to work if you want. If you're bored and you want to do something, go to work, go to school and teach, help out a nonprofit, run a business. Like, you can work if you want to, but you don't have to. If you don't feel like going into work one day and you think you might get fired because of that, who cares? I can sustain myself, right? That's where I'm trying to be at. So income is the most important thing. Now, this is why most people retire later, because the only form of income that they can comprehend, because they just don't know, is working. Earn income, working to get money. But on your financial literacy journey and reclaiming your childhood and your freedom, like we said, you need to know that there are different types of income, and it's not just working. If you think that working is the only way to earn income, you will literally be a slave to your job, whichever job that you do, whichever career, for the rest of your life, because you have to work to survive. So we're gonna get into the different forms of income later, but also, like I said in the intro, you think that, you know, when you're younger, because your parents are telling you everything to do, that you don't have any freedom. But when you get older, you're actually more trapped than when you were a child, because you have to work to survive, and if you don't go to work, you don't eat. Now you gotta take care of yourself. You got to go to work. You don't have a choice whether you go to work. You have to go to work just so that you can eat, sleep, and have clothes on your back. I will link the video up here that I did. I'm probably gonna redo that video anyways, but I'll link the video that I did talking about why financial freedom is important. With financial freedom, you get true freedom, and that is mainly because we live in America, a capitalistic society, and money is king. So if you understand and learn how to work money and work the monetary system, you'll be able to gain your freedom, which is why I am here teaching you guys this. And with freedom, especially financial freedom, you really do have more agency over yourself, because your time does not belong to anybody else but your own. Because when you have a job and you're an employee, your time belongs to your employer. It's literally slavery. Now, I'm not getting on anybody that has a job, but I have a job. I used to say I hate working mainly because I was doing like front desk work. I hate I hate front desk work. But now that I'm starting to like work in the financial field, I actually do enjoy work a little bit more. But still, my time still belongs to my employer, my mother. I don't really have a lot of agency over my time right now because my time is my employer's. But when I start getting my business and start functioning in my business fully, my time will be my own. And then when I retire at 35 or before, my time will be completely my own. Well, it'll be my kids. But I have the option to give all of my time to my kids rather than splitting my time between work and my kids. So there are a few types of income that you can get to sustain yourself in retirement. We're going to be talking about retirement accounts. We're going to be talking about income producing investments. And we're going to talk about increasing your skills so that you get paid more for doing less work. So first and foremost is retirement accounts. This is the one that everybody knows about. 401ks. Make sure you contribute to your 401k plan. Your employer contribution, how much is he matching? Things like that, right? For young people, obviously, we're not taught this in schools. So let me kind of break down to you what a 401k plan is. And it's not just 401k. A lot of people don't know that. A 401k plan is essentially a retirement plan where money is deducted out of your paycheck before you pay taxes to contribute to your retirement plan. After the money goes in there, they invest it for you so that it can grow over time, so that you have money when you retire later on to sustain your lifestyle. Also included in 401k plans are employer contributions. So while money is being taken out of your paycheck, your employer is also contributing to the plan as well. Honestly, if you really think about it, your employer is technically paying you more if you get a retirement plan because he's paying you your regular salary plus his contribution. So why wouldn't you do it? If you're a young person, do not think of the deduction from your paycheck as your employer taking your money. Actually, the deduction from your paycheck, and if your employer matches, is, like I said, he's giving you more money. You're getting more out of him than you would have if you didn't do it. And like I always say on this channel, you need to be thinking long term. Think about when you're older, when you are like 40 and you realize that you've been working for the past 20 years and you don't want to be doing this for the rest of your life, but you probably still got to be doing this for the next 30 years because you weren't thinking about this when you were in your 20s. All right, the next type of retirement plan is an IRA. An IRA is an individual retirement account. That's not the official name, but that's basically what it means. Whereas a 401k is an employer-sponsored plan. An IRA is your own. You can set it up on your own. You can open the account on your own. You are completely in control of what happens there. There are two types, traditional and Roth IRA. Traditional kind of functions more like 401k in terms of you take the money out before you pay taxes. So the money that you're paying for taxes now is decreased, but when you take the money out in retirement, you pay taxes then. Roth IRAs, on the other hand. So after you've paid your taxes, you take the money that you have left and contribute to your Roth IRA, and the money comes out tax-free. Tax-free. The money that you put in comes out tax-free. The gains on it, you gotta pay. So for traditional IRAs, it's better for people that have a high tax bracket now to reduce their taxes, because when you're in retirement, you're going to be earning a lot less money, maybe, and you won't have to pay as much taxes on there. Roth IRA is people that don't really have a lot of taxes right now because it won't really bother you as much to pay your taxes now, but then when you take it out, you won't have to pay taxes on it. I highly suggest that all young people that have an income, even if your employer does not have a 401k plan or a retirement plan set up for you, you should have your own IRA. I do not have an IRA yet, but the only reason why I don't have one is because I do not have stable income. Another requirement to open and contribute to an IRA is that you need to have earned stable income. As a 19-year-old in college, I only work during the summers. So I don't have stable income, like continuous income, but when I graduate, I will. And as soon as I graduate, I'm opening an IRA. My goal is to open one next year. If I do have enough stable income next year, I will be opening it. Basically, as soon as you get stable earned income, you can open an IRA, and I suggest that you do. I can make a video later about like budgeting and telling you like how much you should be contributing to it, but that's what retirement accounts are. Okay, next we're going to talk about income producing investments. Now, a lot of people don't really think about this when they think about investments or when they think about retirement. Like I said, a lot of people, when they think about retirement, they're thinking about 60, 70 years old. And by that time, you just need money to be coming to you every month, every year, so that you can sustain your life. But if you're planning to retire earlier, like me, planning to retire at 35, I'm going to need to have investments that are giving me continuous income, because I can't take money out of my retirement account until I turn 60. So the investments that I have are going to need to be giving me money every year to sustain my life. Nobody really thinks about income producing investments, because that's just not, investors don't really think about it. People that are retiring don't really think about it. So let me explain to you what income producing investments are. As you guys know, investments are like investing in the stock market, investing in bonds, investing in companies. Basically, you contribute to the company and you either become a lender or an owner of the company. Lender, bonds, owner, stock. So with an income producing investment, it's the same thing. You're either a lender or an owner in a company, but your investments gives you income periodically. Some of them do monthly, most of them do about every 6 months or every 3 months, and then some is yearly. Essentially, the income that you will be getting from these investments is either interest, and y'all, I'm gonna blow your mind with this one, interest and dividends. Now, I'm gonna talk about dividends first because I think interest is a lot more interesting, so pun. Dividends are basically earnings from the company that you get. So this is different than capital gains. People might not really understand that. So with capital gains, the company overall is growing. Mainly with stocks, it's more like the sentiment towards the company is growing, so more people are investing in it, and then also their overall profit might be increasing as well. Now, dividends, like I said, are the earnings that the company gets. After they pay for everything, they give you a portion of that. So let's just say that for each stock owner that Apple has, they have made $5 in earnings, right? But they only give their stockholders $2.50. That's the dividend that they get. Now, whether that's credited annually, every 6 months, every 3 months, it doesn't matter. Most times you focus on it on a yearly range. Now, I need to actually check what's the average dividend payout. I'll put it up here, but it's very good to look at companies. It's very good to look at companies that are historic. It's very good to look at companies that historically give dividends if your primary goal for investing in them is getting dividends, because it's income. Good companies are old companies and big companies tend to be old companies. But when I mean big companies, I mean companies that have a large market capitalization. Market capitalization is basically all of the money that investors have put in to that company. You can find this out very easily. Quick Google search, you can find out the market capitalization of stocks. But a lot of big companies, like a lot of well-known companies, give dividends. Not every company gives dividends. Like I said, these are the criteria for companies that give dividends. A good way to figure out how much your dividends should be is to try and figure out how much you think you will need in retirement later, and then seeing which companies can give you that amount, and then just continuously investing in those companies now, like gradually, taking a little bit out of your paycheck and putting it in there, and each time you put in more, you get out more. It's just, life principles. Put in more, get out more. The next one is interest, like I said. And I said this one is very interesting because most people don't ever think about debt in this way. They always think about debt from the debtor side, the person who has the loan, and never think about debt from the creditor side. And I'm going to flip your mind on this concept now. Bonds, essentially, that's what they are. You can give it to the government, you can give it to companies, you can give it to banks. Bonds are loans that you give to somebody else. There's like two factors of bonds: interest from them, and most likely getting the bond back at a higher price that you gave it to them for. Now let's just think about this from a debtor side. A lot of people have debt. You most likely have debt right now. You probably will have debt if you're planning to get a house. You'll probably have debt, right? Let's think about debt payments. I did a video about compound interest where I actually went through and did an example of debt. I'll link it up here, but I'm just gonna talk about it generally. You have student loans, right? Let's just say you have $5,000 in student loans. I literally did this example in this video, so after you should go and watch that. But you have $5,000 in student loans, and let's just say you have a 5% interest rate. So you're paying 5% of 5,000, let's just say for the first month. I'm pretty sure it's compounded monthly, but to make it simple, we're just gonna say for each year you're paying 5%. So after you've paid it down a little bit, you're paying 5% interest. Who is that interest going to? Who is that interest going to? The person that gave you the loan. Now I'm telling you that you can be the person that's giving other people loans and getting interest payments from them. While you are paying interest to somebody else, that is someone else's investments in your struggle. You can be an investment in a company and the government struggle, and they will be paying you interest. Interest that you pay for a car, for student loans, for a house, for your credit card, is the same interest that you'll be receiving from the government and from corporations. Now, when you buy a bond, the interest rate is known as the coupon rate. And most of the time, they're credited semi-annually and annually. So every 6 months or every year. And then on top of that, with loan payments, most of the time you're not going to be paying, you will be paying more than what you like got it for just because of interest payments, but most of the time after you pay it back, you're not going to be paying another amount on top of that. The extra payments just come in interest. But with bonds, a lot of times you'll be getting back more than you put in, and this is especially good if you're buying it at a discount. Okay, so some terms to know about bonds: par value, coupon rate, discounts, and premium. Par value is basically the amount that you'll be getting back at the end of the bond when it matures, basically when you'll be getting it back. I already told you what coupon is. Premium is right now the price is higher than the par value, don't get those bonds. And discount is the price is lower than the par value, get those bonds. Not only will you be earning interest, you will also be getting back more than you put in. Now you're like, oh, when do I know that it's selling at a discount? If you're hearing everybody saying that interest rates are going up, go and buy bonds. Okay? If everybody is saying that interest rates are going up, if inflation is really going up, go and buy bonds, because that's when it's going to be selling at a discount and you will be getting more for your money. Now the last area is increasing your skills to earn more money, or having a low maintenance job for a high paying salary, putting in less, getting out more. I did a video about increasing your skills so that you can earn more money, going from $10 to $100 literally in one summer. For me, I honestly nearly doubled, tripled my money in 6 weeks by studying for an exam. My brother, who's currently 14 years old, he's learning about web design, flyers, and things like that. Right now at my mom's office, he's probably earning like $7.50. As soon as he learns that skill and he can do it efficiently and fast, he can shoot his money up to like $100 an hour. It's very important to have skills that can give you more money for less time, because in retirement, obviously, you're not going to be doing nothing. Like, you're going to want to be doing something with your time. You're human. A good way to do this is by having a job that pays you a lot for doing very little. But if you want to work, you don't have to work 12 months out of the year, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. You can choose to work 2 hours a day if you want. You can choose to work 2 days a week. You can choose to work 2 months a year. But because you have a high paying skill, you'll be getting more for less time. You'll be getting as much as people that work full-time jobs by working 1/10 of the time. That's the main things I have in terms of trying to retire early: is retirement accounts, income producing investments, and high paying skills. Obviously, this was a lot of information. Each of these things can be broken down into different videos, so if you would like me to do that, go ahead and drop that down in the comments. I'll probably do it anyways because it's just helpful information that people need and they don't really know about. Also, I mentioned this a couple of videos ago. If you want direct access to financial industry grade information about personal finances, join my mailing list. I will be sending it to people that are interested in getting that information. I have an online PDF from when I was studying for my exam that's literally industry grade information. So if you want direct access to that so that you don't have to be trying to figure out who's like, if this person is saying facts or if this is just their opinion, if this is like real or if this is really risky, if you want that information straight from the source, go ahead and join my mailing list. I'll leave the link down below and I will give you direct access to that information that industry people use to advise you on investments. Alright y'all, that is all I have for this video. Like I said, go ahead and drop down below any other videos that you would like to see me do. Go ahead and drop down any concept you would like me to expand on. Obviously, it doesn't have to just be to retirement. Any video that you would like to see me do in terms of finances, financial literacy, freeing your life, earning skills, entrepreneurship, all that. I do all that. That's all I have for this video, and like I always say, remember to ask why. I will see you guys later. Bye.